Hello and welcome to the Final Shots podcast, where we talk about sports, movies, and everything in between. I am Tara, and here with me is
James.
So this is our first one, James. How are you feeling?
I'm very excited. I don't know what to expect, and we haven't planned it that well. Spoiler alert, but let's just see how it goes, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Just to give everyone some background. James wants to be a sports analyst.
Yes, if I can get a job within the sports statistics community or like sports world, if I can get a role with a actual professional club, that would be amazing. Whether that's on the scouting side, opposition scouting, just a football analyst would be a great job. And I'm currently on a master's, which is god awful, but I'm learning a lot. What masters isn't god awful, right? But yeah, that's what I'm doing currently.
And I guess that makes you the sports and maths expert on the show. But I am not quite the expert, but I'm a bit of a movie buff. I feel like we're equally movie buffs. But at some point, I'd kind of like to get into movies at some point.
Awesome.
So, let's go for it. What is the sports news of this week, James?
Okay, so it's we are UK based, as most of our listeners will be UK based anyway. But it's hard to ignore what's on Sunday, which is the Super Bowl. And Super Bowl is arguably maybe the second most known sports event. Maybe that's a bit controversial, but I'd probably say Olympics or World Cup is up there. But everyone knows of the Super Bowl. Do we know the rules? No.
just for the sport illiterate out there like me, Super Bowl is American football. Yes.
Let me fact check. Yes, it is American football, NFL for those.
And who's playing?
Well, amazingly, Tom Brady, arguably at least a modern day GOAT, which is greatest of all time. He joined the Tampa Bay this year after winning 5 Super Bowls with the Patriots. And everybody always thought his coach was a big factor to his success, but he's got Tampa Bay, which is the team he's plays for, to another Super Bowl final. So he's cementing himself as the greatest of all time against the new upcoming Brady Light, where everybody might think Patrick Mahomes, the opposition quarterback, he's already won a Super Bowl and an MVP, most valuable player. And if he wins it, it'll be back-to-back Super Bowls for him, and something Brady has achieved. But with Mahomes, he is on course to maybe even surpassing Brady, which is crazy to think when we've already got the best player ever and we're already thinking about replacing him, such as sports. But
well, he is like 50, 80, I don't know, he's old.
So,
right?
Tara, how old is Tom Brady?
I will say he's 42. 42 is a good number.
42. Oh, 43.
Oh!
And he got to Super Bowl final.
So what club does Mahomes play for?
Yes, so it's...
So Tampa Bay versus...
So this is the first time the Super Bowl is being held by the host team, which is Tampa Bay, Brady's team. And so Tampa Bay are playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who Mahomes plays. And for those who, including myself, who doesn't really know NFL, the main thing you need to know is the quarterbacks are maybe the biggest. It's like the strikers of football, but even more so probably.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the Tom Brady show. If you just
yeah,
if you buy him, you win the Super Bowl,
exactly.
basically. But a little controversial. Is this going to be a no audience game?
Well,
considering the global pandemic and everything.
I don't know the full facts, but I think that they're going to allow 22,500 fans in the arena, which, questionable because we are in a pandemic, which is awful. And I'm sure a driving force to why we're doing a podcast. So I guess thanks pandemic. I don't know. We'll cut that out. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I mean,
because UK sports is no audience.
So 3 days ago, 25,000 fans to 30,000 cut-off point is the official attendance expected.
And
Bear in mind,
sorry.
the arenas are massive, so there will be plenty of social distancing. But I guess it is, as with the pandemic, it is the balance of finance relative to safety, which in that argument should only be one answer, but in the world that's not necessarily the case.
Cool. Interesting. Yeah, because I know NBA was doing like a bubble, which they're not doing anymore.
No.
It's interesting to see, like, I mean, hopefully this stuff will be over soon. But it'd be interesting to see, like, the way sports would adapt to this kind of environment. Because it's looked like very different tactics are being used, like, throughout. I mean, to be honest, NBA seemed like one of the most drastic examples of, like, COVID safety.
Well, I would say the NBA did an amazing job in the sense
Disneyland,
of...
right?
Yes, it was Disneyland, such as... I mean, Disney just seem like they can't not do anything, as if they can do everything.
I guess that's kind of good for our podcast.
Yeah.
Movies and sports.
But it's interesting, the bubble was a great success. There was still debate anyway, because the conversation between sports and the pandemic is should you really be playing sport? But obviously it's a big economic driving factor, right?
And I know you've said before also, like, the kind of morale factor as well, which is also movies. That's kind of the thing they're using as well, because yeah, again with movies as well, it's kind of monetary factors versus safety, because there are ways you can make things a lot safer. Obviously risks are increased a lot, and to be honest, I don't know what I think about things continuing, but they are. So yeah,
I think it's the worst it's ever been, at least in the UK. And whether to say it's slowing down, I don't think so. Like, obviously some countries, I think Tara said to me the other day, New Zealand basically has wiped it. I don't know about Australia, but I know New Zealand seems to have a good rate. So it shows if we did good actions, you know, the pandemic could have been tackled a lot better.
Yeah, they're having like full rugby matches, like with crazy amounts of fans, because they can, you know. I mean, I think we both have opinions on how things could have been handled differently. But yeah, Super Bowl. Crazy.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I think sports will continue unless it gets drastically, and not saying this is not drastic, but a lot worse. And money does talk. As Tara said as well, it does provide a release for lots of people. Like, of course, money is the driving factor to why it continues, but knowing it is continuing, it does bring a lot of joy. At least for me, I love that sports around. I can, we'll come to it later, but play around my fantasy team. What will I be doing for the rest of my day? Studying? No, thank you. But yeah, I think it at least brings back a sense of normality. There's a schedule. I know when I can watch sport. That these little things do drive us in what is a very difficult time. But yes, the Super Bowl. I believe Kansas City Chiefs are favourite. Not by much, but whether Tom Brady can get six Super Bowl, we'll have to find out. But yeah, is a big achievement for a 43-year-old, I think we said. And he's not a bad looker either, is he?
Are we having a halftime show? And if so, do you know who?
That's a very, very good question. So,
what was the last halftime show?
Well, why don't we find out? 2020. Wait, was there there was a Super Bowl last year. Was there a Super Bowl last year?
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, because it was before pandemic. That's crazy, right? Must have been.
Oh, yeah. Wow,
a different world.
So last year was Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Which I do remember.
I remember that.
I don't remember it being very good. But maybe I was a bit harsh in that. But okay, this year there is a Super Bowl. And I can tell you the artist has put 7 million of his own money into the production.
Shit.
Any guesses who?
I mean, we've already had Maroon 5. But
a great success.
I'm fairly sure we've had him like
Not
3 times.
I mean,
I feel like I can't keep away.
He has to keep relevant somehow, right?
I actually do quite like Maroon 5, but what's his name? Adam Lambert?
I guess
I'm not sure.
Let's just also say it wasn't Maroon 5. I think it was just Adam Levine.
Oh, Adam
right?
Levine. Who's Adam Lambert? Adam Lambert's definitely someone.
Adam Lambert is an American singer, songwriter, and actor.
Oh shit! I know Adam Lambert. Yeah.
He's played in a movie called Playmobil, the movie, which the Rocky.
Wasn't he on like X Factor or something?
I would not know.
Oh, he's on Pretty Little Liars. Okay, that's where I know him from. Of course. Oh yes, he plays with Queen.
Plays with Queen.
He's the new kind of not replacement, obviously, but he plays with Queen, right?
Interesting.
Am I being dumb? I think he plays with Queen.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Breaking news for the Arsenal fans: 1-0 Aston Villa.
Oh.
But yeah. Cool.
Where were we? Who
is the who's performing at the Super Bowl?
So yeah, a guy.
Yes, so not a band, just a single guy. Paid 7 million, so he must be doing pretty well. I mean, I guess this is a Super Bowl, you're not going to not be doing well, right?
I feel like I might have already known this. Let me ask you something. Is he a kind of Monday to Friday guy?
I think he's like Garfield. He hates Mondays.
Also, so The Weeknd is The Weeknd, right?
It is The Weeknd, yeah.
I always thought that was like not one guy. I thought it was like a group of people. Is The Weeknd just one guy?
Oh, I think you might be right,
That it's just one guy?
No,
that is a group? No, I think it's one guy.
No, it's just one guy,
Yeah, but I feel like it's such a name of like a group. It's like Niles Barkley. Always thought it was one guy, but it's actually two people.
But is it one of them called Niles Barkley?
No.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It's the guy who did Forget You. Or,
Oh, CeeLo Green?
Yeah, CeeLo Green. He was part of Niles Barkley.
Oh, right.
You know Niles Barkley, right?
No.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that's CeeLo Green.
No, that's Niles Barkley.
Okay, that's the
CeeLo
two
Green and
people.
The guy.
Right. I got you.
The other guy, poor other guy. I don't know who it is. Okay. Well, that sounds fun. I'm excited to maybe watch that. Are we watching that?
You know what? That was one of the questions I had. Is the halftime Super Bowl show a bit overrated? I
mean, yeah.
Now we're in a stage where these trailers, these adverts are released, is a great spot, and also it costs a lot of money for film, what are they called? Like film companies, the Disneys of the world. They pay a lot of money to, pay a timeshare of this show. But now when these trailers are probably going to be released, seconds, maybe an hour, 30 minutes after it's been released on Super Bowl, why would I not just go on YouTube and watch the trailer instead of not sitting through, I would enjoy the Super Bowl, to be fair, on a bit too late.
Isn't it just all just adverts though? Oh, speaking of adverts though, they've got a advert for some kind of like internet company, Lord of the Rings.
Show? No,
it's what's the name for Lord of the Rings?
Aragorn. Sorry.
Who?
Aragorn?
No.
Who's Aragorn?
Aragorn's not a character. Aragorn?
Aragorn?
Aragorn.
Oh, sorry.
No, the guy who plays Frodo.
I mean, no one knows his name. He's
Everyone
Frodo.
knows his name. He's amazing. We
Elliot
love him.
thing, right?
Elliot?
Not Elliot. Elijah something. Right?
Elijah Wood. No, we love Elijah Wood. Come on the podcast, Elijah Wood, please. No, he's doing like a little Lord of the Rings chat with fans.
Oh, right.
As a little advert. But yeah, I think what hyped it, and it has never reached the hypes before, is just the controversies. If you know what I mean.
With the Janet Jacksons of
Janet
the world.
Jackson. Who was on stage with Janet Jackson? Let's see if you know.
Was it Justin Timberlake?
It was Justin Timberlake. Yeah. Very good.
I feel like he's showed up a couple of times as well.
Oh, we love Justin Timberlake.
Obvious
Come on the
reasons.
podcast, Justin.
Yeah, I'll give him a call. Maybe next weekend? Justin, if you're listening, you know what to do. But okay, fine. Halftime Super Bowl show. You know what? It should be cool. I mean, it's amazing there's going to be a Super Bowl anyway. It's a lot of fans, but hopefully social distancing.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope it's all safe.
I would probably say I want Brady to win, just to pull it out there, because I think it'd be amazing for 43-year-olds. Dads out there, aspire to be Tom Brady. If he can do it, anyone could do it, right? Do you care who's going to win, Tara?
To be honest, I don't know enough to care. But I would like to come to the point where I would care, you know?
Very diplomatic answer. Sound like every analyst on the ESPN or something.
That I don't know. Okay. Well, I guess we're done with the Super Bowl.
Yep.
My movie news of the week. Have you heard of the Uno movie?
The Uno movie.
Yeah.
I'm
20
afraid...
hours ago, released. Not the movie didn't get released, but the announcement got released.
Okay, please tell me more.
So you know Uno, right?
I have played. I've dabbled.
And when you've been playing, and you know you're playing through the cards, have you ever thought this would be a great movie?
I have to be honest. No.
The reason why you didn't think that is because you weren't putting it through the eyes of having Lil Yachty to star in it.
Okay.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I would probably say Little Yachty, but this is
Lil
UK
Yachty.
speech here.
Lil
but...
Yachty. Yeah. Lil Yachty is starring in a Uno movie that is going to be like a heist comedy.
Do I take someone's cards and is that like the journey?
Yeah, they play with the 7 rule when you get to steal someone's cards. To be fair, I would love like an overhyped like Yu-Gi-Oh like style. And he plays the card. That'd be wicked. Yeah, I have absolutely no clue how or what this will be. Probably just like money grab. However, I thought that about a Lego movie, and a Lego movie was banging. So
that's fair enough. That is fair enough. So, did you say Little Yachty is developing it?
No. He's starring it.
Oh, he's in it.
He's the star.
Anyone else?
It's helmed by Robbie Brenner and Kevin McKeown. I do not know what they have done. But it says they're tapping into the heist movie genre, such as Ocean's 8.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how. How?
We actually watched Ocean's 8, or did we watch Ocean's 11?
No, we watched Ocean's 8.
That movie just highs, guys.
It was great.
If you spoiler alert, I guess I don't know. Just highs.
But is it like, I mean, to be fair, we haven't watched the original Oceans, and we probably should have. But I quite liked it in the fact that if you're like in a down mood, you don't want anything too heavy. Just like you just want everyone to do well and be doing great, and like, mate, we loved everyone in that, right?
Yes, it was the Avengers before. I mean, after the Avengers, but.
But like, you know, the Endgame cringy scene with all the female Avengers. It was like that, but like less cringy, at least I thought. So yeah, that was my movie news of the week. I mean, I thought I'd go with something light.
Let's just say it's not going to be on Netflix.
It would bang on Netflix. People would love it. To be fair, I think game movies usually do rubbish, but have great potential.
Like Game Night. Do you remember Game Night? Or
yeah.
Games Night?
It didn't really focus on the game. To be honest, I'm just seeing Jumanji. I love Jumanji.
Yes.
Have you seen the original Jumanji?
I have not seen the original. I've
seen
the remake. Very much enjoyed that. The Rock is charismatic, so you can't really go too much wrong with that. Great cast, I would say.
I mean, Jack Black. We like Jack Black.
Yeah.
Amy Pond from, Doctor Who. Love her. I will say, though, I am an absolute snob. Refuse to watch it. Not as good as the original.
But you haven't watched... See?
It's not as good as the original, James. Not as good as the original.
You may have opened a can of worms here, but when people say it's not as good as the original, but then you find out, have you watched it? How can you know it's not as good as the original?
I agree. It's very hypocritical. However, what I will say... This is coming from a guy who thinks Hobbit is better than Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
so let's just move swiftly
I thought
onwards.
we were leaving some of this juice for other podcasts. We will come back to that.
Well, I mean, it's the first one. They didn't know what kind of guy they're dealing with.
All my credibility is gone.
Talk about credibility and how to ruin mine. Let's go on to my favourite. Well, maybe not my favourite, but I mean.
So let me put this in. lots of people, they grow up, they have favourite sort of TV series. Oh, no, sorry, movie series. I'm a very big fan of Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I don't think anyone bat an eyelid at that. So we've got the Star Treks, I'm going very sci-fi. Maybe some people like Fast and Furious. I mean, I guess we get a bit more debatable there. People like The Godfather, those type of series. Pixar, maybe we're going a bit broad. So coming to Tara's favourite movie series, and plenty of people love this. But is it a bit cringy? Is it a bit cringy choice? What did we watch a few nights ago?
Well, I guess that whether it's cringe or not is up to you, because I learned that James had never seen Twilight. Or at least, I think you'd seen the first, but actually just completely blanked it out.
For
because
obvious
you're
reasons.
traumatized. But yes, we watched Twilight, and we watched New Moon, the second Twilight, which is way worse than Twilight. Look, you said a lot about the Twilight movies. The first Catherine Hardwicke Twilight movie is just beautiful. Amazing directing, amazing cinematography. Sure, a little cringy, but it's just a classic, It's got that indie vibe, and I think even people who hate Twilight, for unknown reasons...
There's no reason why a vampire in broad daylight should be hated as a movie concept.
Vampire in broad daylight? What's your problem? He sparkles! He can't go broad daylight. Vampire. I actually watched an hour and a half commentary video yesterday on the Twilight series, and it was actually brilliant, by Sarah Z on YouTube. And it was kind of talking about the hate Twilight got and how kind of unfair it was, but also, fair. There's a lot to talk about, which I'm not going to spoil for James, because a lot is to do with future Twilight films. But there's also a lot that, people want to hate a movie because, teenage girls like it, There's nothing too wrong with Twilight. Now let's talk about the things that are right with Twilight. What was your favourite scene? In the first Twilight movie?
I would say, the only scene I remembered from watching it the first time, which obviously I've blanked out, was the baseball scene.
Isn't this perfect for our podcast? Does this now count as a sports movie, James? I'm sure plenty of young girls and young boys got to learn that fucking Jasper flick with the baseball bat.
Yeah, if that's the exposure many girls get of sports.
And guys.
Sure, sorry, apologies. I don't think it's the best exposure you're going to get, to be honest.
I learned so much from that movie, so how dare you? And also, we've actually tried this. Wouldn't all sports be so much better with a soundtrack, You put Muse onto any baseball game, it looks way cooler.
Any BTS song hypes you up, for sure. I would agree with that. But no, it is a great scene. They're so powerful that when they hit a baseball, lightning strike. Oh, the sound is of lightning. So they can only play when there's lightning. So,
I love the joy you're having of a movie that came out 10 years ago. What? I hope it's joy. Is it joy? What? Did you enjoy it?
Okay. It's interesting what you said when you described Twilight. Is it indie film? I don't think it's an indie film anymore, right?
The first movie felt indie vibes, but yes, but after that,
as an indie film, as my definition, which I feel like indie film is such a vague definition.
Yeah.
It's not an indie film.
No.
Is it a classic? You know what? I think Twilight is a classic. For the right or wrong reasons is more the debate, right? Did I enjoy Twilight? If you watch Twilight to sort of make fun of it and kind of enjoy some of the romance and the sort of, in a good way, stupidity. It was great.
It was great.
You're not watching it thinking it's gonna be The Godfather. Let's be honest. But as a fun movie, it was pretty good. I have to say.
It was fun to laugh at, right?
Surprisingly, I think plenty of the cast need a bit of sun. There was a lot of pale characters in that show.
They are vampires, but I think you're talking about the point how Bella is paler than the actual vampire.
The actual non-vampire is the palest character there. I learned there was a blue filter.
Yes.
Applied to the
yes, that's what makes it so beautiful.
Apparently.
How did you not literally look at every scene? It is so blue. It is beautiful. We love you, Catherine Hardwicke. Hope you're doing well. Come on the podcast.
But no, it was a great watch. Jacob was not much in it. Jacob, i.e. the, don't know, spoiler alert, the wolf. For those who didn't know.
It's been 10 years. I think they can... But you watched the second one as well, though.
I've watched the second one, and...
Much more Jacob.
Two
Much
words.
More Jacob.
Might be one word. Beefcake. I'm going to leave it as that.
Let's just say he's quite dreamy. For all our Shark Boy and Lava.
Yeah, we'll leave it as that for the Shark Boy and Lava Girl fanboys who also got the 3D version. Shout out to that. Just remember the song he sung. Very dreamy. Dream indeed.
So, Team Jacob, Team Edward.
I think it's hard to be on Team Jacob when... I don't know whether it is a good trait for a man to be persistent, but when a girl tells you to your face, essentially, there's only one guy for me, and yet you keep trying, like, that's very... How should I put this?
I think looking at it in 2021, I was about to say 2020, gosh. Looking at 2021, there's a lot of issues with relationships and everything with Twilight. Like, I mean, yes, Jacob's bad. Also, Edward stalked her and, like, wants to kill her all the time. But, like, there's so much to, like, analyze and stuff. It's brilliant. Not, like, brilliant, but, like, wow.
It is interesting, the portrayal of relationships in this movie with the father of this relationship, or whatever you want to say. Back to the question, detour aside, I think it's Team Edward. I don't think it's necessarily hard. Body-wise, that's another question. Another question. And body-wise, definitely Jacob, but Edward is just a better looker. You can't deny it, really. Even looking that pale. Like, Robert Pattinson himself looks a lot better than Edward, I would say. Like, take the vampire out of him, and he looks plenty good. When you add this sort of filter, that I guess makes him look a bit worse, and still wins, it's not saying much about Jacob. Even though he is a beefcake. Team Edward, for sure.
You know what? We love seeing your stuff, James. Tell us about your fantasy week.
Well, I would like to first talk about fantasy football in the sense of in game week 24 and game week 25, there's been announced double game weeks. What that means is some teams play twice. So for next week, Man City...
What week are we on?
We are currently on game week 23.
Oh, okay.
And excitingly, the best part about fantasy is double game weeks. So after this week, Man City play Everton in their second game. And Fulham play Burnley in their second game, which, pile up the Man City players, basically. And then the week after, we've got Leeds and Southampton playing twice. So talking more about my team, I've been doing pretty well. I currently 41,781 overall in the world.
Ooh.
I know.
Ooh, check you out.
To be honest, I'm just really rubbish at captain picks. Really rubbish.
I've seen.
Though
What did your pick give you last week?
Last week, so guys. A good captain, let's just say, you get 10 points, which means a captain doubles the points, so 20.
That's a pretty good captain.
Exactly.
That's
right.
Pretty good.
So Bruno Fernandes, how many points did he get? 17 points. A very good showing.
Oh, that's a brilliant choice for your captain, James.
I know. And I've got this other guy called Ollie Watkins, 6 points. So double that is 12. Still good, right?
Yeah.
Bamford, he got 5. So you would have got 10. And Calvert-Lewin is 9. Did I captain Calvert-Lewin? No. Did I captain Bamford? No. Did I captain Ollie Watkins? No. Did I drag this out just to say captain Bruno Fernandes? No. I captain Mohamed Salah.
We love Mo Salah. He must have done really well, right?
And
what a great player.
you know what? Last week, and I should have known this, he scored 15 points. So surely he couldn't do it again. And I was correct. He scored 2 points. So I got
2
4
points.
points from my captain, which is
brutal.
just not great.
2 points, that just means he's played for the full 90, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
So he did a bare minimum. He got a
Awkward.
pass. And just on general football news, not looking great for Liverpool right now. They are, as it stands, 7 points behind Man City, who also have a game in hand.
Interesting. Could this be the return of Man City?
Well, some may argue City never went away.
Oh, big words from the Arsenal fan. where are our lads this week?
Arsenal. You know, that's a good question. Where do you think Arsenal are?
Okay. Well, just historically, I should be a Tottenham fan. However, I am an Arsenal fan. So we have this running debate of Tottenham versus Arsenal just to piss James off. I'm going to say Arsenal are above Tottenham. Is that correct?
You would be incorrect.
Oh, what a shame.
You would be incorrect.
Oh, what a shame. I'm going to say Arsenal are 10th.
Okay. Where do you think Tottenham are then?
6th.
Very interesting. So Tottenham, Arsenal are indeed 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if I'm happy you guessed right or wrong. But just above them is Spurs in 9th.
Oh.
Currently also are currently playing.
What's the score?
1-0. I mean, I guess silver lining. I've got Ollie Watkins who scored. That's for my fantasy team. So, you win some, you lose some.
Who's your captain? Or is this the same week?
My captain is Son.
Okay. Oh, so we want Tottenham to do well.
No.
Okay,
So-
what we want is Son scored 3 goals and then the other team to score 4.
Exactly. And
Okay.
the real fantasy doesn't mean you want rival teams to do well. You just want your players to score as many points and they still lose. But as it stands, Arsenal on 31 points, played 23 games. Tottenham are 33 points, but have played 2 games less. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All to play for. All to play for. Interesting. So, I think that means our podcast is coming to an end. Before we finish, though, I feel like we want to shout out some creators we've been enjoying.
Yes. So, why don't you go first, Tara?
So, to continue this week's theme of YA sparkly vampires, I would like to just tell people about a 2.5 hour YouTube video which I absolutely loved, which was by Jenny Nicholson on YouTube, who just talks about TV shows and kind of analyzes them. I think this is probably her longest video, and it goes into incredible depth and analysis about the incredible series of The Vampire Diaries. There was so much to say, and to be honest, I think she could have doubled that and made it a 5-hour video, because wow. And it honestly, it was one of those videos went by like it was 20 minutes long. And yeah, we love Jenny. Come on the show, Jenny.
Come on,
And talk about Vampire Diaries. How about you, James?
So, I am a very big fan of No Dunks, which is a basketball podcast.
We love No Dunks.
and,
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, sports podcast channel, which is on YouTube as well.
Well, it's mainly NBA, right?
Yes, they talk about, in general, just NBA, but they're also basically a group of dads. And honestly, they know their basketball. They're great. But their basketball talk might be the second best thing about the podcast. I think them as a group of friends, basically, is their interactions, their stories. Lee Ellis, of course, shout out, is particularly funny. He just goes on tangents. And like, we all have that sort of dad friend, or just maybe your dad. Just like, who'd talk about how he goes to the shop one day, but then he just goes on for half an hour just to say, so I got your Mars bar. Like, but he's just so funny. But as a podcast goes, it's definitely one of my favourite podcasts. No, it's my favourite podcast. And recently they just did a 4.5 hour stream on YouTube with their. It's called. I think it's called. Well, it's their happy hour, but I actually don't know the full title for it. But it's their happy hour where they're meant to talk about.
Party, right?
It is a watch party, but they don't do much watching. Says despite it being called a watch party. So the NBA happy hour, yeah, I thought so. Fine, and they did a 4 hours and 20 minutes worth of content where they talk to their old producer. So they used to have a show on the NBA called The Starters.
Now.
Exactly. Now they are the No Dunks, and honestly, they go from strength to strength. So anyone who wants a basketball podcast, but also want a great group of people who you will definitely gravitate to, No Dunks is the way to go.
Yes, it's a much better podcast than this. So, No Dunks guys, if you're listening, please let us on the show. We'd love to be part of it.
Honestly, guys, you're in for a treat next week. Justin Timberlake, No Dunks, Jenny Nicholson.
We've got them all. Don't forget Brittany. As this is our first podcast, I feel like it's been quite fun. I've enjoyed it.
It's been great.
Thank you all for listening. But before we do go, I think as it is a sports and movie podcast, every week we'd kind of wanna watch a little sports movie because there are some great ones out there. What's your favourite sports movie, James?
That's a very good question.
I think I know it. Even if you don't.
I would like to see what you say because maybe that will rejig my memory.
Surely Space Jam.
You know, I don't think Space Jam is my favourite sports movie. I don't particularly think I have a favourite sports movie, I would actually say.
Well, you know what? Let's change that.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to spin that. My favourite, or one of my favourite sports sort of TV series is Haiku, which is hear me out guys, a volleyball anime. And, 2020, sure, it's the year of the pandemic. But 2020, for me, was the year of seeing how cool volleyball is. And that is 90% due to Haiku. So it's an anime about a high school Japanese team who just go into tournaments. And honestly, it's great. The sound effects, it just makes volleyball, it makes you want to play. It's just awesome. It definitely checks out. And when I watched volleyball in the Olympics anyway, I always thought it was cool, but Haiku took it to different levels. And it's on Netflix, so very easy, accessible.
I would have to say, I mean, that's great. I really want to watch it. Like, everyone talks about Haiku, so... I would say you cannot beat Bend It Like Beckham, though.
Yeah,
You
classic,
cannot beat
classic.
Bend It Like Beckham. For people growing up in the UK, it is such a UK film, It is great. But yeah, also I think there's plenty that both of us have not seen, Like, I haven't seen Rocky. I don't think you have.
I have not.
And there's a gajillion movies out there. And to be honest, they're all great. So we have compiled a list, and each week we are going to draw a name, and we're going to watch it and then talk about it next week. So, are you ready, James?
Yes, please.
Let's see the sports movie of the week. This is one I have seen.
That's okay.
And it is incredible. James, have you ever seen Bring It On?
I have not.
Oh my, you are in for a treat. Okay. Well, next week I cannot wait to talk to you more about Bring It On.
Fantastic. Can't wait.
Brilliant. See you then. And that concludes our first podcast.
Final shots.
Thank you for listening.